Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. It is so disappointing that not the predictions, um, the advice, or at least the assessments provided to me when I was much younger by someone involved in certain kind of, how should I put it, services came true. And that is the free media lies more or much smarter than the communist media used to. Now, this person that I mentioned here used to work in the system in Romania, in the communist Romania, so he was kind of high up in the community, and he was telling me that after the revolution, when I became a young adult, he told me that the Americans are lying the most. The free media in the United States lies the most. And at that time, I was more idealistic than I am right now. And I believe, come on, you're just because you work in the system, you just say it. You are trained to say these kind of things. But then I got to mature, go around the block a few times, see things, understand, enhance my horizon as much as I could. And I realized that, yes, that is true. Unfortunately, the free media lies, and not only lies, has an agenda, and the agenda is not walking the same path as the citizens it's supposed to inform. It's becoming even worse, I think, lately in this country. I'm talking about the United States of America, and not only, where I see mainstream media exaggerating, lying by omission, showing its true face without even hiding it. Now, I don't know, is because the level of sophistication in the population dropped, even though the college graduations increased, or because they are desperate, or because they don't care, or all of the above. Nevertheless, I have here an article, a hit article on Wilders, the Dutch guy who won the elections in the Netherlands, and he scares the shit out of these guys in charge of us. And this piece of, they try to destroy actually his character, but they will not succeed. They will do, I think, the opposite. There's going to be the exact thing that they try with Trump, and they got the opposite reaction. More people liked Trump, and more people dug their heels in the ground, ready for a fight. So if you want to see how the media smears a candidate it doesn't like, look, for instance, at what's his name, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I have to always look at the book. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. when he, said, "I'm going to run for president of the United States of America," how the media overnight started destroying his character, pointing out only to negative stuff, or at least perceived negative stuff, or as they say, how do you call those? The word is not okay. Let's put it this way. There are certain things that are controversial. That's the word they use, the controversial. And that's a good example. I'm not going to put Trump into it, which Trump was okay until he ran for presidency. Then everything he did was bad. And that came from the mainstream mass media, which is supposed to, or at least used to have a different mask. Now it seems like it dropped the mask altogether. So let's look at this article from the Telegraph and the smearing campaign and the attacks on the Dutch winner, Wilders, started. And unfortunately, I think that they will get the opposite response to the one that they are trying to get, which is more support. So the Telegraph right here. They try to associate him with bad people, but they don't understand that actually those people that they try to bring with Wilders might be considered good people for Wilders' side. So they don't understand that posting this picture, they think they will smear and they will have the people in the center or people who don't know about this issue at all. They will create this panic and say, oh my God, these are all bad, including the guy in the middle in the picture. They don't understand that that actually solidifies Wilders' position even more by showing who he associates with. These guys are just, but you have to be maybe a little bit more attentive to past events. So it's the guy in the middle. This is how Zelensky tries to appear in those public relation pictures that they're always posted since the war between NATO and Russia started. Always like he's exactly like Winston Churchill. Now you have to read about that picture, the history behind how that picture was taken. From my information, he was a little bit buzzed with some alcohol, and he was, okay, let's do it. Burp, and nevertheless, it's a fantastic picture. So here we have these guys, and the title reads, "The Dutch Election Winner Who Backed Tommy Robinson." Now you are supposed to hate all these three guys nowadays, including the one in the middle. Well, the guy in the middle bankrupted the British Empire, but anyway, this guy is supposed to be a bad person because he also was incarcerated, I would say, by the free country of Great Britain. And this guy obviously is a bad guy. Just look at him, right? That's another argument these guys are making. So here it is, the smear campaign. More than a decade ago, Geert Wilders was blocked from leaving Heathrow Airport after his far-right anti-Islamic views were deemed too dangerous for the British public by officials. What does, let's say, Britain have to do with Islamic views in Britain, that they will ban a free person? Well, you understand exactly. London. Who's in charge of London? Yeah, okay. On Thursday, the Dutch public woke up to a political earthquake. No, it was not the Dutch public. It was you, the establishment, that you shit your pants because this guy won. That's what it is. It's not the public. They try to make it that the public is scared. Not the public. You are scared. The leader of the Freedom Party, having secured a convincing election victory in one of the country's most close-fought campaigns for years. A charismatic populist. So they give you a warm one and then they give you a bad one. But according to them, the charismatic here is put in a way that he's like a salesman. He's a charismatic salesman. That's why he's over there charismatic. It's not like a positive thing. It's a trait of character. He fools you because he's charismatic. That's why that was over there. Not because they give you a positive, trait. With slicked dark, what I tell you, with slicked back, lightning white hair, Mr. Wilders, 60, gained notoriety for his calls to ban mosques, the Quran, and Islamic schools. So everybody in Europe who is a follower of Islam, he should be afraid of this guy. This is the first thing right here. And he's just a weasel because he fools people with his looks. Campaigns over the years have been kickstarted by denouncing Moroccans as, and I'm quoting, scum, and calling for a raghead tax on Islamic headwear, he said. Again, bad guy. To him, Islam is a violent religion and the Quran a fascist book. Bad. Mr. Wilders claims to have extensively studied the Quran once, telling a reporter that there were, and I'm quoting, no parts of the text he agreed with. Can or you cannot? Are you a free person? Now here is with Marine Le Pen, obviously. Look at that weasel behind there. So again, she is supposed to be another boogie person, boogie woman. The 60-year-old firebrand was placed under 24-hour guard by the police in 2004 following the murder of Theo van... No. Oh, no. Van Gogh. Now, see, you little muffle. Where are we? Down here. Following the murder of Theo van Gogh, a filmmaker critical of Islam, who was killed by a Dutch-Moroccan Muslim. Freedom of speech, you get that, so obviously not good. Such is the fear over his safety. His now round-the-clock protection by bodyguards had been elevated to a military-style operation in the free Europe. And so maybe this could make his point even stronger. If people want to eliminate him in the free society of the Netherlands, but certain kind of people, that he points out, hey, we got a problem here. And then these guys, by threatening to kill him, reinforce his statements, then they make his point. So that's a bad thing. You don't settle things in Europe, as far as I remember, a dialogue or a debate, as offensive it might be, with machetes or burning or hanging. You use the military like the US uses. All right, so horrible past. So he was called a horrible past by one of his relatives. So born in a practicing Catholic father and a mother from Indonesia, a former Dutch colony, by the way. Again, bad connotation after bad connotation. I guess practicing Catholic is bad nowadays. Mother from Indonesia because it was a former Dutch colony, so she must be a victim that the father, implications. I'm just using my brain like these idiots. He was described by his brother as a, and I'm quoting, horrible past, egocentric and aggressive, end quote, during his teenage years. You got that? You can't vote for such a person, basically. If his brother says this, oh my God. Well, I think a lot of people could be in teenage years very strange or egocentric, aggressive, and maybe horrible past until you mature a little bit. But nevertheless, they felt necessary to use it. In 1981, aged 18, Mr. Wilders traveled to the Middle East, including Israel, where he lived on a kibbutz for a year. Now that was good. I think that he hoped his political career will jump. But I think he just did it because he is a nice guy. His brother Paul claimed, the same guy with the past I'm guessing, this is where he developed his radical and controversial stance on towards Islam. Be careful, Paul, because you could be accused of anti-Semitism, because that means traveling to a kibbutz in Israel will radicalize you. Idiots. You see, they fly, but not that high. Returning to the Netherlands, Mr. Wilders trained as a lawyer and worked in a welfare agency, further sculpting his attitude towards Muslim immigrants. Or maybe what he, lived. He entered politics as a member of the People's Party for Freedom and Democracy, the party of caretaker Prime Minister Mark Rutte, before walking away because of its apparent liberal stance on Islam and migration. See, these guys? So Geert, that's his first name, has faced criticism over his anti-Islam and anti-immigration views. Well, I think this should not be facing. This is clear arrest in certain countries. In 2004, Mr. Wilders founded his party, placing anti-Islam and immigration policy at the heart of his speech to voters. So, let's see, his anti-Islamic rhetoric also saw him flirt with a law in the Netherlands. He was charged but then acquitted. He was acquitted of 5 charges of hate crime and discrimination over his short film. So you are for short film and discrimination. Arabic for discord, which juxtaposed the Quran with images of 9/11 terror attacks and compared Islam to Nazism. 2 years earlier, he had been refused entry to Britain, the free country of Britain, where he had been invited to attend a screening of his film at the House of the Lords by Lord Pearson, the UKIP peer. I like UKIP. I like Farage a lot. Mr. Wilders claimed that the airing of fitna was a victory for freedom of speech. I think so. You like it or you don't like it. If it incites to violence, no, of course. If it threatens, no. The decision by Jackie Smith and then House Secretary to ban him from the country was eventually overturned in the High Court, of course. I'm glad they did that. When he returned to the country in 2010, he claimed his capital would be turned into Londonstein. Londonstan, like Kazakhstan and all those. That's how they look down on you, my friends. Within 20 years, if Britain did not halt immigration from Islamic nations, well, they got 10 more years. Not even. They got, what, 7 more years. Are they going that way? Just walk through London and see. So here, for years, the far-right politician pushed for an anti-EU coalition with Brexiteer Nigel Farage, who distanced himself from the Dutchman. So it says here that during the campaign ahead of 2014 European election, Mr. Wilders called for UKIP to unite with his party and France's far-right National Front Party led by Marine Le Pen in a single group. But Mr. Farage opted to take his band of Eurosceptics in a more moderate parliamentary group, considering Mr. Wilders and his MEPs too toxic. Well, that's what they say. Instead, Mr. Wilders went on to celebrate Tommy Robinson as a, and I'm quoting, staunch freedom fighter. I watched Tommy Robinson. I don't know where he's right now, but I used to watch, getting information about who this guy is 10 years ago or something like this. After he was arrested, then he was put in prison or jail over there. I was following him to see what he has to say, and he has courage, and he said a lot of true things. And compared the English Defence League founder to Winston Churchill. Mr. Wilders appeared at a rally in London calling for Robinson to be freed from prison after being found guilty of breaching reporting laws in 2018. It's like Al Capone. They didn't get Al Capone on crimes, like organized crime. They got him in a tax evasion. If you get a guy for that and not for anything else, how clean must you be? Look, for instance, at Trump. These guys have been trying to catch and get Trump for years, for what, 6 years? And they couldn't. And they tried to get him with some $200,000 between him and a porn. That's what they want to do it? Really? With that one? Are you going to catch him with that? The guy who has billions, who turned and built and was involved with lawyers and with businesses. That's with what you're going to catch him? Are you kidding me? I mean, can you imagine how clean he must be if they don't have anything like clear? And again, breaching reporting laws. And I remember when that was, he had a problem with saying something to some people in the street he was not supposed to. It was a trial and so on. He reported something. I remember I followed that, and I kind of remember what happened there. That's what they got him. But as polls showed him with touching distance over victory in the Dutch election, Mr. Wilders sought to water down his extremist views. Well, extremists compare with your extremist. As I explained yesterday, if you push the pendulum to the left too much, when it comes down, everything it's right of the left. If you push it this far, the one in the middle, not the one on the far right, it seems to you as being extremist. So yes, if you push it too much, or to the right, if you push it to the right, to the extreme, everything to the left of you, even if it comes in the middle, where you're going to be the most moderate, seems to be an extreme view. Why? Because you moved too far. The same here. This guy's moved too far. And when this guy comes to, wait a minute, whose country is this? What are we going to do with it? Oh, he's extremist. Well, why don't you look at, let's say, 40 years and see 40, 50 years if that was extreme? And why not? Were those guys idiots? You screwed your countries. That's what happens. Now it says here that But as polls showed him, with touching distance, so he's watered down and promising to be a prime minister of all the Dutch, keyword, including the newly 1 million Muslims in the Netherlands, out of what, 11, I think it has, the Netherlands, 11 million or something. So yeah, it's about almost 10%. Manifesto calls for ban masks were dropped, and other priorities such as immigration, the economy, and healthcare were prioritized. This helped him earn his PVV party 37 seats in the Dutch parliament. Now, he could do, I guess, because that's the norm, when these guys on the left win elections, and not only, if you look at the United States of America, they always break their promises. So yeah, he might break his promise of banning masks. He's not going to ban masks. He's going to have them maybe more, how should I put it, under surveillance, I would guess. And who doesn't want to live in a free society that is safe, but your individual liberties are not limited, like United States of America. Yeah. Tomorrow, if they don't have to ban us, they don't have to take our guns or to make it illegal to own a gun. They will just have to increase the taxes for ammunition, taxes for guns manufacturing, or they can make all kind of little tweaks in the law that to buy a bullet costs you, let's say, $3,000. So you're not going to have bullets. You're going to have guns, but you're not going to have bullets. How many people could afford? And then let's say you make a gun $100,000 by taxing and by doing all kind of garbage. And yeah, nobody banned guns, but you need $100,000 to buy, let's say, a handgun. Therefore, you can't have it. You are a free country. You see the same thing with the gas. They're gonna get rid of the combustion engine. How are they gonna do it? They just help the other one, gives you incentives, which is help them. That's unfair competition. When you give tax reduction if you buy this vehicle, but you don't give tax reduction buying this product, and they're in direct competition. What does it tell you? And the money comes from us. So we pay for other people's, tax breaks for what? Or reductions and whatever. No. And that's what the government, the communist government here is doing, very much to the left. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Yeah, they try and they will keep going. This is just the first day. Yesterday, right? 2 days ago, yesterday he won. So we're gonna have every day from now on how bad this boogeyman is in Europe and in the West, only in the Western world, not in other countries. There will be nothing wrong in any other place, but only in the Western world somehow. Why? Because it has a problem or no problem. Well, he sees a problem. Is there a problem? Let's have a debate. No, they try to shut you down. They try to destroy your character. Then we're not engaged in debates. Why? Because they know the truth is not on their side. It's like when you try to debate someone having a Bible. It's black on white. That's even worse. But the problem is they try to say, oh, this is metaphorically speaking. No, it's not. Well, yes, it is. Where things don't make sense. We don't understand the plan. Oh, now it doesn't make sense. We don't understand. Here it doesn't make sense. It's metaphorically. It's not. Come on, don't be literally here. Okay. This is kind of a weasel way of. I wrote 2 books on that one. So why don't you want to go and check them on Amazon? On God's nature. How this guy interpret God's nature only as good and loving and blah, 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 blah. Just read the Bible, your Bible, and see how great. I mean, put it together. I just add to things that they don't say. That's all. They, like what I'm doing right here with media and the news and events, global events. I'm just giving you the other side that these guys don't give it to you. That's what I'm doing. And say, oh, you're a hater, you do this. Well, if you want to be a fool, go and read those guys and listen to those guys and see where that gets you. And I tell you where that gets you. They get you in the basement with 3 pairs of masks, 20 boosters, Keep your mouth shut, work, pay your taxes, and consume. That's where they want you. And they're on the way to doing that. Next time, they're going to push the pendulum of infringing your freedoms, temporary privileges, and liberties even smaller. They already did it one time. I mean, they're doing continuously, constantly. If you look at what the Constitution says and what we have right now, look at the freedoms and liberties the Americans had, let's say, in 1800. I'm not talking about other groups, all right? That was wrong. That was adjusted. There was change. Excellent. Now, look how much freedom they had then, and look how much freedom you got now. You got from this, you got this. And all these little infringements. Oh, you have to, and regulations. Wear a seatbelt while you drive a car. Why don't you ask a horseman, a rider, to wear a seatbelt in 1800? How about that? Or maybe a helmet, or maybe elbow pads. It's coming. And all kind of these limitations. No, don't use your phone while you drive a car. So when you ride a horse, don't scratch your butt, okay? Because it's unsafe. Unbelievable, unbelievable. I don't have to go to the right of own bare arms shall not be infringed. Buy a gun. Go and buy a gun. They go through all these things and all those things, and you keep the gun like this. That if someone breaks into your house to rape your family and kill you, before you get to the phone or before you get the gun, you'll see Jesus 50 times already. So yeah, no, it's just for hunting. It's none of your business, okay? It's just for hunting. It's not only from hunting. It's from defending my family and myself from the government, from the bad people that might try to harm me. Like, for instance, the senators, the other people who have bodyguards in the government. They can, but I can't. What's that? Special treatment? Oh, they're important? No, we're equal, aren't we? Thank you very much for being with me again today. So look for Wilders being daily. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.